Hi guys, welcome in. Clear old energy, bring in new energy. How are you all? Pavni, welcome in. You're in Dune. That's cool. Don't have any. Don't eat them. Welcome in. How are the holidays treating you guys? Dream Beaver. Hi, welcome in. Keith Vaughn, welcome in. How are you? I'm not the reader for everyone, so if I trigger you. It's not because I'm trying to. Um, I don't believe in, you know, unicorn farts, rainbows, and all that mushy shit. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear because, telling you what you want to hear doesn't help you grow, doesn't help you. And I'm here to set knowledge and wisdom at your feet, hoping that, you willingly will decide to choose to pick it up and use it to better your life, because that's what I want to see. I want to see everybody better their life. Sandeep Tripathi. I love Marlboros, but that's not what I'm smoking right now. Yeah, smoke and mirrors, but yeah. Yes and yes, Gabe. Not a path to healing and growth. And I want to see people grow. I want to see them take their lives back, Welcome in, Sandeep Tripathi. And I'm just going to call you Prod. Prod, welcome in. Yeah, healing is not comfortable. It puts you out of your comfort zone because healing requires you to look inside, and it's uncomfortable. Prod, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. What triggers us requires healing. Exactly. How are you all doing? Where's everyone from? You guys are coming in. Hit the like button. Show this channel some love. Shout out to Arkansas. Yes. Our triggers are what our enemies use against us. Exactly. Exactly. So we got to get strong in them, guys. We gotta look at ourselves and get strong in them so they can't use them against us. I'm in West Virginia. Mountains, rolling hills, and beautiful trees and nature. Although it's cold. It is cold. Our pipes have done froze twice. Smoking's very what? Dangerous, yeah. Been doing it for a long time. Still, please. I call those from pure white divine light. Only those from pure white divine light. Only those from pure white divine light are allowed to come in and answer my questions. Still, please. Thank you. Actually, I call those from pure white divine light. Only those from pure white divine light are allowed to come in and answer my questions. Only those are welcome. Any and all negative, depressive, ill, malicious, evil energies, entities, and intentions are commanded out. I rebuke them. Any and all energy vampire cords are commanded out. I rebuke them. Anytime I pick this pendulum up now until the end of this reading, let it be from those I've called from pure white divine light only. Only those from pure white divine light are welcome. Still, please. Thank you. Yes, and a lot of people like to use guilt and shame. Yes. But when you when you notice it and you build a resistance up to it, they can't use it against you anymore. Yeah, I caught a couple of your readings or a couple of your healing sessions. Yeah, everyone we're around mirrors us in one way or another. Okay, guys, let's get into this. So I think what we're going to do is the false mirror is what shows us inside of us what's triggering us. But let's get into this. I think what we're going to do is we're going to look at what your patterns are that you're working on, and then we're going to look at what your partner's working on, or the person, the person on your mind, however that goes. So clear old energy, bring in new energy. What are the patterns that Aries is working on? And then what are the patterns Aries partner's working on? Yeah, I care for people too. Okay. All right. Patterns Aries is working on, currently working on. Patterns and cycles Aries currently working on. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Patterns Aries person is currently working on. Aries person or who's currently on Aries mind. What patterns are they working on? Thank you. I've never done this before like this, guys. So something similar, but not this. So bear with me. One more. Aries person or Aries, who Aries is currently. Thank you. Okay. All right. Aries, what you're currently working on. Let me see. I believe what you're currently working on, Aries, is, you're taking the swords away from your enemies. You see that? And they're upset because they won't be able to no longer trigger you. So if you take these swords away from them, they can't trigger you anymore. So those things that they used to trigger you, like making you feel insecure, making you feel like you need to defend yourself, making you feel like you need to over explain things, you need to stand up for who you are. You got to defend who you are, what you want, how you do things. The guilt trip, like we were just talking about, guilt tripping you, making you feel like something's wrong with you or you're crazy. If you stop letting them trigger these things and you take those weapons away from them and you stand up for yourself, they're no longer going to be able to use that against you. So where are you over explaining yourself? Where are you defending yourself when you don't need to? You are okay the way you are. You're perfect the way you are. And I'm not saying that means that you don't have flaws and you don't have things that you've got to work on. But you don't have to defend yourself to anyone else. You have to learn to love yourself for who you are. What are you working on? Taking that brand new beginning, accepting that brand new passionate beginning, being passionate, being fiery, being creative, not allowing anything to stop you from that, not having any reason to defend why you want to take a new passionate leap or go on a new passionate journey. Lighting your spark up, allowing yourself to grow and evolve and step into who you are passionately, fierily. Not worrying about being too much for somebody. If you're too much for them, then they're not for you. They're not the ones for you. What are you currently working on? Healing. You're healing. You're starting to believe in you, starting to have faith in you, being your own wish fulfillment, knowing that you can manifest anything. The stars will align for you. And also knowing that you've done more healing than you think that you've done. Plus taking everything that you've been through and pouring that knowledge out into the public, out into the community. She's pouring water into or she's pouring water into the water, and she's pouring water into the earth. That's knowledge and wisdom that she's pouring. And it's he, she, doesn't matter. This isn't gender specific. Being open, opening yourself back up, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and knowing that God, divine source, has you and you have you. No matter what's happened, you always end up on your feet. You always end up still standing, still standing in your strength. So knowing who you are. What else are you working on? Opening those emotions back up and allowing offers to come in, or allowing yourself to make an offer, allowing yourself to be open and kind-hearted and compassionate and loving, allowing yourself to be that, no matter what anyone says. Even if, you wear your heart on your sleeve and people take advantage of that, that's not saying anything about you. That's saying something about them, So again, showing, allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable. Don't let this world turn you bitter. What is your partner working on? The Wheel of Fortune. Your partner is working on not allowing things to keep them stuck and stagnant. You can see this two ways. You can see this as the guide, helping them to, this is their wheel of destiny, allowing the wheel of destiny to move forward. But you can also look at this as the devil on the bottom, trying to stop that will, the toxic cycles, he's trying to keep that will in a toxic cycle where it's not flowing and it's not moving and it's not going, But then there's another one on top, allowing you to cut out what it is that you need to cut out. So not feeling guilty for cutting things out of your life that no longer serve you. Not feeling guilty for allowing your will to flow, allowing yourself to flow, allowing it to move, allowing yourself to grow and evolve. This can be vice versa too, guys. What is your person working on? The Seven of Wands, learning how to put up healthy boundaries, stand up for themselves, stand up for who they are, stand up for their faith, what they believe in, what they want in life. Not being a part of the competition, standing above the competition. And that's not saying they're better than anyone else or above anyone else, just standing above the competition, like the gossip and the chaos and the craziness and the manipulation. They're standing above it and setting healthy boundaries. So they're working on setting healthy boundaries. Okay, the Sun. They're working on being open and being vulnerable because, this person on here, is not wearing anything. Being pure-hearted, being passionate, being fiery, allowing their inner self to come out, allowing their inner shine to come out, allowing their self to feel, abundant, happy and joyful and playful. Seeing that, they've came over a lot of walls. They've got past a lot of blockages, a lot of barriers that were put in their way. They've leaped over that. and strengths. So taming their inner beast, taming the beast, taming their negative self-talk, their negative feelings about themselves, things that people have projected onto them, it not being their truth, understanding and knowing that it's not their truth. So taming their inner emotions. And this could be, taming anger and jealousy and envy and not repeating cycles. You see the infinity sign on here. It's a repeated loop, repeating over and over and over again. And that's what the devil wants. The devil wants you to keep repeating the same patterns. They don't want you to change them. They don't want you to go in the opposite direction. Okay, Aries, I hope that helped you. Like I said, it can be vice versa. Clear out energy. Bring in new energy, please. What is the patterns or cycles that Taurus is currently working on? And what is the patterns or cycles their partner or significant other or whoever they're thinking about is working on? Or is currently on their mind? Taurus. What are the patterns or cycles Taurus is working on? Thank you. Patterns or cycles Taurus is currently working on. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And Taurus's person. What are the patterns or cycles Taurus's person is currently working on? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is supposed to be in the reverse. No. This is supposed to be in the reverse. No. Okay. All right. So Taurus, what are you currently working on? Page of Wands, going on a brand new journey, not allowing anything to stop you from going on this brand new journey, taking a leap, firing back up that fire, that creativity, not allowing anyone to dim your dreams or dim your light, dim your creativity, not allowing anyone to make you feel like, this isn't for you. You might have a brand new idea. You might want to go traveling. It might be something that lights up your spark and lights up your passion, but people are telling you, don't do that. If you do that, that's not going to work. Or how is that going to bring in income? How is that going to last? You need to get a job. You need to do this. You need to do that. So listen to yourself and let that inspiration come in. Let that fire come in. Go on this brand new journey. Don't allow anything to hold you back or to make you feel like you can't do it and you can't make it. What are you currently working on? You're learning how to pour into yourself. You're learning how to self-love. You're learning how to pour all that love and wisdom and knowledge into yourself until you are overflowing. Because when you're exhausted, you can't pour into others. If you have an empty cup, you're emotionally empty, physically and mentally empty. You can't pour that out to anyone else. There's nothing left in that cup to pour out. So you're learning how to self-care, take care of yourself, overflow your cup. So you have more than enough to give to others. Real Bacon, hello, welcome in. HM Reza, hello, welcome in. How are you all doing? All right, Taurus, 10 of Pentacles. So you're learning how to be abundant, how to be stable, how to bring in what it is that you need for reliability, stability. You're learning that the fruits of your labor, they are going to blossom, they are going to bloom, they are going to come in. You're learning how to have trust and faith in yourself, and maybe trust and faith in your community too, because these people are talking here. So having trust and faith in not only yourself but someone else, maybe your community can help you grow and help you evolve. You and your community all together will grow and evolve and become abundant. You're learning where the loyalty lies, and loyalty lies within you first. You have to be loyal to yourself before you can be loyal to others. And that you've gained a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge on this journey. Yes, you've been through hell and back. I'm not going to say that you haven't. You have. But you've also gained a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge about yourself and, what you want in life. You want this stability. You can create this stability for yourself. And learning how to get back into your childlike innocence, playful, laughing, joyful, enjoying life, enjoying the world out there, being grateful. I'm not saying that you're not grateful. I'm just saying, finding the little things to be grateful for, like a conversation with somebody, a conversation that leaves you feeling light and happy and joyful when you have that conversation. Being grateful for the wisdom and the knowledge that you've gained. Being grateful for the childlike innocence around you and inside you. Being grateful for learning how to be loyal to yourself. Learning how to be self-sufficient. Learning how to build this foundation. And sometimes you have to build it on your own. But, be grateful that you have the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to do that. What else are you working on right now? The Emperor. So learning how to be all 4 queens and all 4 kings. Learning how to balance your feminine and your masculine inside you. And being authoritative still. Being the leader still. Knowing what you want. Going after it. Being determined. Not allowing anything to stop you. Because we all have feminine and masculine in us. Our feminine in us is our nurturing and our love and our care for ourselves and others. And our masculine is putting up those healthy boundaries and not allowing people to cross them. And not allowing people to keep testing us and pushing us and triggering us. Knowing who the fuck we are, basically. Knowing the Emperor knows who the fuck he is. Like, he doesn't have any doubts. He's not second guessing. He's not allowing others to come in and mess with his head and mess with his path, mess with his abundance. And he's not telling everything either. Like, he's keeping things to himself. And that's not secrets in a bad way. That's, keeping his plans to himself. How he's going to create the abundance. How he or she is going to build their stability. Not everybody needs to know, because then people throw hate and shade and make you second guess. And like I said, the second guessing the journey, not going on the journey, not feeling worthy of the journey. He doesn't feel any of those things. So that's what you're working on. Your person. Well, your person is currently working on. Well, your person is literally working on something, and they're trying to perfect it. But perfection, you don't have to be perfect. You have to accept yourself for who you are. light and dark. You have to accept yourself. You have to give yourself a balance. Those dark shadows that you feel, or those faults that you feel in yourself, they are also your, not only your weaknesses, but they are also your strengths. They helped you build character. They help you grow. They help you evolve. This is also working on not repeating the same pattern. See how he keeps repeating the same pattern? Like nothing is done differently. They're all the same exact pattern. You're not changing it up, you know? And they're working hard at it, not understanding that those patterns are the same. They haven't changed anything. They've been the same. Repeat it constantly, over and over again. And they may be a hard worker. They may work too hard, you know. May not give themselves time for play, time to enjoy life, time to enjoy their creations. Instead, they're hard at work, not focused on anything else outside of them. They're not focused on a relationship or their family or friends. They're kind of sitting here by themselves, just constantly working, constantly building. So they're missing out on life. What is your person currently working on? The Eight of Swords. Being in their head, overthinking things, feeling trapped, feeling stuck, you know, feeling like all this work is going nowhere. They're not getting anywhere. They're working and working and working and working, and they're perfecting and perfecting, but it's not going anywhere. It's leaving them anxious and, you know, confused and stuck in their head, overanalyzing, overthinking. But they can free themselves. They've got to free themselves from this mental exhaustion. And that's what this is, mental exhaustion. Like they feel like they can't get out of this. They can't change anything, but they can. You know, it's an illusion. They can back up on these swords, cut these minds off, take this mask off, tap into their heart and their emotions, and get out of this trap. They're keeping themselves trapped. This is sabotaging yourself. This is keeping yourself trapped by overthinking. What is your person working on? The King of Cups. So the King of Cups, he's got emotions. He's got a lot going on around him on the outside, you know, but he's very stable. He keeps his emotions stable. Sometimes you might not even know he has emotions because he's so stable in it, like he's so balanced in it. So maybe your person is a little bit over emotional sometimes, and they need to work on stabilizing those things, being loving and caring and generous, but also stable in their emotions, not letting the outside world affect their emotions and get them out of balance, not allowing the overthinking to make them emotional and get them out of balance. What is your person currently working on? Justice. So there's something that they don't think is fair, something they don't feel is fair. But this is giving yourself justice. This is going within and learning your triggers, learning where you're overthinking, learning where maybe you're overworking. You know, you're working so hard, you're stressing yourself out, being very emotional. The curtain will fall, the veil will fall once they go inside, get out of their head and go inside and look at themselves and stand back in their power, knowing what their power is, cutting out the things that no longer serve them, give themselves balance. And this can be thoughts and ideas too. And you know, with the overthinking, I think that it's a lot of negative self-talk and a lot of negative things that they're thinking about themselves. So they need to allow that curtain to fall. They need to give themselves justice. They need to stand back in their power. And you know, you guys are kind of working on the same thing, because there's the Emperor standing in his power, knowing what he wants, determined, going after what it is he wants. And there's your person needing to stand back in their power, knowing what they want, getting rid of the illusions, dropping the curtain, giving themselves justice, fairness, balance. Okay, Taurus, I hope that helped you. Hey, Jim, I will when I get to them. Camo, Hawks, welcome in. I specialize in traumas and triggers and healing those. So, Camo. Okay. Clear out energy, bring in new energy. Gemini. Gemini, what patterns and cycles are you working on? And what patterns and cycles are your person? Is this person working on? Gemini. Thank you. Patterns and cycles Gemini is working on. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Okay, Gemini's person. Oh, shit. Gemini's person. Okay. Okay. Gemini's person. I saw the devil in there, Gemini. Gemini's person. Thank you. Okay. Gemini's person. Gemini's person. Okay. That's in the same place. That's in the exact same place that Taurus just had. So maybe maybe you need to check out Taurus's reading, or you're dealing with a Taurus. Gemini's person. Gemini's person. And I'm not going to remember all these as I move forward, but that one's fresh in my mind. Gemini's person. One more. One more. One more. Thank you. Okay. All right. All right, Gemini. You get a drink. My throat's a little sore. Okay. All right. So, Gemini, what you're working on right now is planting seeds, planting ideas, planting things for the future. There may have been something that you planted before, you know, and you're watching it, like you're sitting there, when's it going to grow, when's it going to grow, when's it going to happen, you know, um wishing things were already happening before, before they're ready. If you watch a pot boil, it takes forever for it to boil. If you plant something in the ground, it's not going to grow overnight. And you take your eyes off of it, your focus off of it. But also, you've got another seed here that you need to plant that you haven't planted yet. You have another idea, and something's holding you back from that. You know, maybe because you're sitting here sulking, and I don't mean this in any bad way. He kind of looks like he's sulking. You know, doesn't really believe it's going to happen. Doesn't really believe anything's ever going to change. You're sitting here and you're constantly looking at what it is you've planted, not having faith in yourself, not having trust in God's source divine, not having trust in a higher power, you know, wishing for it to hurry up and come to fruition. But in the meantime, there's another seed here. And what you don't understand and you don't recognize is, yes, this thing might be growing and it might take it a while. But slow and steady wins the race, And then you've got a seed over here, an idea or something, an offer or something that you're not planning. And who knows, maybe this one might grow faster than this one. Maybe this one might grow first and then these might come along, and keep you going. But you're not planning it. There's something holding you back. And maybe you really truly don't believe you're worth this, but you are. Maybe people have told you, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you're sitting here and you're watching it and you're watching it and you're watching it. And you're playing through your head, maybe they're right. Maybe this isn't going to work. But you need to have more faith in yourself, more faith in the divine timing. Okay. And then you have the Fool. So again, planting that seed, taking that risk, taking that chance. If you take your focus off of what it is that you want, it'll grow faster. If you take your focus off the pot that you want to boil, it seems to boil faster. So what you're working on right now is taking a new risk, taking a new leap, maybe making a new offer, maybe accepting a new offer, going on a brand new journey, only taking with you the knowledge and the wisdom of what you gained about yourself, not taking along the pain and the sadness and the overthinking and the listening to everybody else, going on your own journey, enjoying your own journey, being okay with you, being okay with being authentically you, no matter what that means. Not being afraid to be unique. Look, he's walking down the street. He doesn't give a care what anybody thinks about what he looks like, where he's going. No, he's not even paying attention to where he's going. So he is going to go off that cliff. You just got to give yourself a chance. And there's your loyal companion. You might have a companion that's loyal to you, but this is also being loyal to yourself and allowing yourself to take a risk. Not allowing anything or anyone to hold you back. Look, there again, there's that seed. He's not planted it, he's holding it. It keeps repeating. He's holding the seed. There's some kind of idea or something that you have, and you're allowing other people or your own thoughts to keep you from planting the seed or making this offer or taking this offer. You need to plant it. Look at the fields there. There's plenty of fields there to plant that seed. He's looking at it, trying to make up his mind, overthinking the situation, instead of planting it and nurturing it and watering it and caring for it and allowing it to grow. It does have potential, but only if you plant it, only if you take it, only if you take a leap forward with it. I don't know what you're allowing to hold you back. Well, here we go. The Six of Swords, the chaos, the craziness, the manipulation, the choppy waters, the drama, the gossip, all the craziness. Maybe your world shook up, and you're kind of afraid to move on from it. But what you're working on is letting go, allowing things to drift away that no longer serve you, allowing things to leave your life that no longer serve you, allowing yourself to move away from the conflict and the craziness and move into a more peaceful you, a more peaceful life. Here he is again, only taking the knowledge and the wisdom that he's gained about himself, not taking the anger and the resentment and the pain and the heartache, knowing that those are just projections on you. That does not define you. That does not define who you are. Your past doesn't define who you are. So what you're currently working on is stopping these patterns of allowing people to hold you back. Get in that ship, get in that boat, get in that car, whatever it is that you need to get in, and move forward. Get into the idea of moving forward. This could just be moving forward with your life, allowing yourself to move forward, not allowing guilt and shame and all that to hold you back, not allowing people who want to be in this energy of craziness and manipulation and gossip and guilt and chaos to hold you back. Getting in there and going and seeing what's on the other side. The waters are calmer once you leave all this. And this can be chaos and stuff in your mind too. This could be you being conflicted, not making a choice, being afraid of letting go of something, being afraid you're going to miss out on an opportunity if you let go. You've been backstabbed and betrayed. You've come from the Ten of Swords, being left for dead. You're back up again. You're in the boat. Now you need to move. You only got 6 swords in your back. You've let go of 4 of them. You just need to continue to let go and free yourself and allow yourself to move forward. What your person is working on. Well, your person is in that lack mindset too. Not having enough, not being enough, not being valued enough, not feeling like they're valued, holding back. This is holding back your worth, holding back your emotions, holding back your finances, holding back everything, not allowing yourself to be open because you're so afraid that if they let someone in, or if they let go of the finances, or whatever it is that they're holding back on, this lack mentality, if they let go and open up, this is all energy. Money is energy. Finances are energy. Worth is energy. Allow it out, opening up and being vulnerable. That allows your blessings in, instead of hoarding everything and keeping everything so much to themselves that they're blocking their own blessings. Like they've got this coin covering their heart. They're blocking their heart. They're blocking their crown chakra. They're blocking their path. They refuse to move. Okay, your person is in the 9 of Wands. So your person's feeling like a victim, and I'm not saying that they couldn't be. I'm not saying that their past didn't throw some shit at them that may have took them down. They're guarded. They've got their walls up. They've got their defenses up. They're not allowing them to come down. What they're working on is they need to slowly allow these walls to come down. Not bring them down overnight, but they need to at least slowly allow them to come down. They need to realize that they are healing. God doesn't give you more than you can handle. He knows that you can handle it. He knows you're going to stand back up. That's his warrior standing right there, and he knows that your person is worn out. And like I said, these can be vice versa. He knows your person's worn out from battle. They're exhausted, they're wounded, they're healing. But they need to allow these walls to come down, and they need to go on this brand new journey. Need to take that wand that they've got in their hand and go on this brand new journey. Fire up their mind again. Fire up their excitement, their spark, their passion, their fire, their creativity, and go on a brand new journey. Take a chance again. Yeah, these are battles that they've won. Yeah, and they haven't won them all, but these are battles that they won, and they're so guarded against these battles. But they need to have a different mindset. They need to go on a brand new journey. They need to allow something in. They're so guarded. They're not allowing anything in, including you. King of Cups. So they may be very emotional, and what they're working on, what they're currently working on is being able to balance their emotions no matter what comes at them. Being loving and generous and kind and opening up and opening that cup up, opening themselves up, but at the same time, not allowing things on the outside to make them feel wounded, make them feel conflicted. Giving love a chance again, staying grounded in that though. There's choppy waters all around him, but he's still grounded. He's still secure. He's still open. He's still loving. He's still kind. And temperance. So your person needs to be patient. They need to realize that they need to be patient. The angels, guides are mixing things up. They're moving obstacles out of the way. This is in divine timing, not in their timing. They need to take their power back, stand in their truth, stand in who they are, know who they are, pure intentions, know that they deserve the crown, they are the kings and queens, going on this brand new journey. You see the path? Going on this brand new journey, but also 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on earth, taming their emotions. Again, it's showing it. They have the possibility of growth and potential, but only if they allow it to grow and they keep themselves balanced and they're patient. Not everything happens when you want it to, but they are being protected. They're being protected. Their third eye is opening, learning to see things in a different light, learning to see that they can't control everything, but there is something working out in their favor. I hope that helped you, Gemini. Clear old energy, bring in new energy. All right, Cancer. What is Cancer currently working on? What patterns and cycles Cancer currently working on? Thank you. Patterns and cycles Cancer is currently working on. Thank you. That's a good one. Thank you. Okay. Let me check that one before I do your person. Is this supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. Cancer's person. Make sure we're gonna make okay. Cancer's person. What is Cancer's person currently working on? What is Cancer's person currently working on? Cycles and patterns Cancer's person's currently working on. Okay. Okay. So check that one. Check that one. Okay. Is this supposed to be in the reverse? Is this supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. Is this supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. All right, Cancer. What are you currently working on? Okay, Cancer. The Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is a victory. So you're currently working on acknowledging yourself, allowing yourself to shine, allowing yourself to be victorious, knowing you're worthy of this. This is success after a battle. And you're gonna have people looking at you like, envious and jealous because you're up here, you're shining, you're in the spotlight, allowing yourself to be in the spotlight, allowing your life to grow, allowing yourself to speak up, to use your throat chakra, to speak about how you feel, standing in your power, knowing you are deserving of a victory, and staying pure at heart while you're at it. Because, this horse is white. That's purity. Having pure intentions. Anything else? Also, staying humble in your successes, not getting too cocky, about being in the spotlight. Also, staying humble, and remembering where you came from is what I got. You know, remembering that we're not all perfect, but you can be the inspiration for someone else. You stand up and you allow yourself to shine and you take your power back and you speak your truth, because they're looking up at you. You can inspire so many others. You can become a leader and inspire and lead. This has the potential for growth, allowing yourself to succeed and grow and be seen. What else are you working on? The Two of Swords. So, this repeated pattern of being indecisive, not knowing which way to go, not wanting to choose a way because not wanting to be wrong, wanting to stay blindfolded, not wanting to make a choice, keeping your heart blocked, not allowing love in, not allowing the truth in, not wanting to see things for the way that they are. If you tap into your heart and your emotions, because you can't see forward, it's clouded, you don't want to make a wrong decision, but there is no such thing as a wrong decision. You know what I mean? Either way, we're going to grow, we're going to evolve, we're going to learn. And, you know, um, tap more into your emotions more than your mind. This is like overthinking. You can't see. So you're keeping yourself in indecision, not wanting to take one path or the other. Tap more into your heart. How do these paths feel to you? How does it feel? Does it make you anxious to go one way or the other? Does it make you feel overwhelmed? Is there a lot of pain with that path? You know, um, opposed to maybe going another way. Maybe get excited about going down a path, going down the other way, going maybe a different way that you've never gone before, changing the outcome, And maybe if you're not feeling right about either one of these paths and that's what's got you in indecision, create your own path. Go your own way. Don't go either way. Make another way, Maybe the other way is choosing yourself for a while, allowing yourself to get quiet and get in your emotions and get into how you feel about things, and allowing yourself to take a different route, a different journey, something you've never done before, getting out of your comfort zone. Maybe neither one of these options feel right to you or fit you. Maybe that's why you're in indecision. So trusting yourself opposed to overthinking. Tap into how you feel about things and start trusting yourself and trusting a higher power. What are you working on? The King of Pentacles. So your stability, you're working on not having that lack, not being indecisive, not knowing which way to build, not knowing how to build, stuck in indecision and wanting to build stability, but not knowing which way to go, not knowing how to do it. Tap into you, because you will lead. If you tap into you and you get silent and you get quiet and you stop overthinking, it will be shown to you. Learning to trust yourself and trust the divine more, because you want stability. You want security. You want that offer. You want to take that offer and give that offer to someone who's not going to leave you in this kind of feeling, or something that's not going to leave you in that kind of feeling. Could be a job, could be a person, but wanting to make an offer that you're not making, you're just holding it, you're just looking at it. Wanting to build stability, maybe with someone, maybe in a partnership. But it does have potential to grow, but you've got to plan it. And you've got to get out of the indecision. You've got to choose a path and take action and plant whatever seed that is, or make that offer. And 8 of Cups. So, walking away, not allowing yourself to let go and walking away. That this is what you are you're working on. And maybe this is emotion, there's things in this cup that meant something to you, they do mean something to you. That's why they're all upright. They're not just tossed on the ground. But you lost the spark. You lost the feeling, the emotions aren't there anymore. Maybe something switched overnight, or seemed like it switched overnight. Not feeling the same way about things that you were. Maybe your problem is staying way too long, not listening to your intuition, not going after your dreams and your wishes, because you're allowing something to hold you back. So allowing yourself to walk away from things without feeling regret or sorrow or remorse over it, knowing that there's something better out there. And yes, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. Like, you water it inside you, loving you, pouring that knowledge and that wisdom into you, pouring that love into you. And you are going for that 9th cup. And when you go for that 9th cup, when you allow yourself to release this and walk away without any guilt, you are going for that 9th cup. And when you go for that 9th cup, you're going to realize that nothing outside of you completes you. Not a person, not a thing, not a job, not the past. The past isn't who you are. Walk away from that. Things that you feel like you've done wrong, or you feel bad about, walk away from that, because that's not your truth. You go and you pour into yourself, you're going to realize that you've always been whole and complete. Always. You've been on a journey. You've been doing exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing. You've learned a lot. You've gained a lot of wisdom. This was your journey to evolution and wisdom inside yourself and about yourself. You go find that cup that you don't even realize you're looking for. You're going to realize that things complement who you already are. They do not complete you. You were born whole and complete. You were born with the birthright to have anything you ever wished for and desired. And when you do find that ninth cup, your 10th cup comes in automatically because you no longer feel like you're lacking anything. You know, you're no longer putting out the vibration of I need, or I lack. So it automatically comes in because you match the vibration. Okay. What is your person working on? Well, your person is working on giving as well as receiving. You know, this person is giving to one person and not giving to the other. Maybe could be, there's three people in this card. So it could be third party giving more to someone else than giving to you. But they're working on giving equally, equal give and take with whoever. I mean, this could be children too, giving to the children, not paying attention to you, or giving your attention to someone else, not giving it to you, possibly. But they're working on an equal balance, equaling things out. This is a pattern they're repeating. Giving to one person, not giving to another. Not being balanced and fair with everyone. Paying attention to other things, being distracted, and not seeing you right there in front of them. Or even even their loved ones, even their children, even family, not paying attention to that because they're so distracted. Okay. And as I speak about the ninth cup, they're working on the ninth cup. So they're also working on knowing that nothing outside of them completes them, dropping the veil of anything else or anyone else, or a job or anything else completes them. They're already whole and complete. They don't need attention from a bunch of other people to feel whole and complete. They need someone that complements them, knowing that they are their own wish fulfillment. They're their own twin flame, regaining balance inside themselves. Pouring that love into them instead of, seeking it and feeling like they need it from other people. Pouring it into them, because you can't unconditionally love someone until you unconditionally love yourself. Flaws and all, it doesn't matter. You're still perfect. God, divine source, don't make mistakes. Like, if you see flowers out there, the petals are different, but the flowers are still beautiful. That's embracing the uniqueness of who you are and who others are. Embracing the uniqueness of what each person brings to the table and what you bring to the table and who you are, and being your authentic self no matter what. The Hierophant. So they're repeating, they've been repeating patterns over and over and over again. Like, they've mastered this, though. They don't need to keep repeating it. They need to stand in their power and know who they are. And that doesn't mean cocky, like I'm better than you, because no one is better than anyone. Everybody here is on their own journey. They're learning their own things. They're growing and evolving and exploring different things. They want to have different experiences. No one is meant to be the same. We are all meant to be individual and unique, yet come together, and what we have, bring it into the community, bring it into the families, our own unique gifts. Our weaknesses maybe somebody else's strengths. Our strengths may be somebody else's weaknesses. Working together, collaborating, learning from these repeated lessons. You don't need to learn them. They don't need to learn them anymore. They don't need to keep repeating these cycles. They've mastered it. They look inside themselves. They've mastered it. What has this journey taught them? You know, um, standing in their power, but in a compassionate way, putting up their healthy boundaries, but also being very intuitive and being an inspiration for others, not having control over others and being above others, but being an inspiration for others, taking these things that they've learned, that they've mastered, and allowing it to be given to others, giving that knowledge and wisdom to others. Michael Stevens, hey, welcome in. What is your person working on? The Three of Wands. So they're working on allowing themselves to receive. There are ships coming and going here, and they're standing here waiting. This person is standing here waiting. So maybe they don't think that their ships are coming in. Maybe they don't believe in themselves. Because this person here, this is who they're working to be. The Three of Wands. Knowing that their ships are coming in. Knowing that things are going to change. Knowing that life is going to be different. Knowing that going on a journey is going to change their whole world. It's going to build their stability, allowing themselves to stand in their power, but also stand in their heart, be open and vulnerable, and stop second guessing themselves, stop doubting themselves, stop feeling like the world owes them something. The world doesn't owe them anything. They owe themselves. They're already whole and complete. They need to go on this journey. They need to allow themselves. That shit comes in. They need to allow themselves to get on it and do something different they've never done before. Okay, Cancer. I hope that helped you. How are you, Michael Stevens? Clear out energy. Bring in new energy. Don't forget to hit that like button. Show me some love. Show this channel some love. Show the love outside of you. It brings more love toward you. The more passionate you are with other people, the more you bring it toward yourself. Family, loved ones, whatever. Leo is next. I don't know how long you've been on here, Michael Stevens, because I was channeling. I was in the reading. It's a lot of details, guys. A lot of details. A lot of energy. But I've been resting up and getting my energy back. So I figure a big reading isn't going to hurt. Bubby's barking. And he wants nothing to do with the outside, though. And he'll go out and come right back in. It's so cold out there. I can't believe my cat stayed out as long as he did. Like, we have heat tape on our pipes, and our pipes still froze twice. Yeah, ball. My hands are freezing. Whoa. Come back here. I've already been on an hour and a half, almost. Excuse me. Damn straight. What is that song? Ah, that song. There's a song in my head. Just scan. It's like, hello, darling. Been a long time. This moment you used to be. I can't think of it. Might be hello, darling. Somebody might want to look up that song. I think it's hello, darling. So somebody might have a phone call coming in and they need to answer, or might need to make a phone call, or might want to. I hope this isn't happening to anybody on here, but maybe someone's cheating and you don't want to believe it, or this isn't for everyone. Just take it if it resonates. And if it is resonating, you'll know. This isn't going to be something you don't know. Maybe someone's cheating and you know they're cheating. You've been hearing the gossip around town. People have been telling you, but you haven't wanted to accept it. Well, you are starting to accept it. Yeah, because you feel left out in the cold. You feel abandoned. You feel left out. You feel mistreated. But you need to know that even if this doesn't work out, you're not abandoned. You still have other seeds to plant. You still have other things. You still have stability. You've got ideas and stuff that you can do. You plant those seeds. There's still 5 pinnacles in this window. There's still a place for you to go. Maybe you've been kicked out, you're homeless or something. An idea will pop in your head, or you will have a couple of different ideas. There is a safe haven somewhere. Something you're going to think about. Something's going to come in. Some kind of idea is going to come in. Or maybe a call is going to come in. I hope no one's stuck out in this weather. It may be winter where you're at too. Okay, that's just a side note. Take it or leave it. All right. Let's see. Clear old energy, bring in new energy. Leo. What are Leo's cycles and patterns they're working on currently? Cycles and patterns Leo is working on currently. And what cycles and patterns are their person? Is their person working on? It's all right, Bubby. Do okay, Bubby. Okay. Leo. Leo, you may be a mess right now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Who else got that? I think Cancer got this. You might want to check out the Cancer reading. If it wasn't Cancer, it was Gemini. I think it was Cancer, though. I could be wrong. Oh, no. No. That's too many. One more. One more for Leo. I almost called you Cancer. So, yeah, you may be dealing with a Cancer. Or, Cancer's reading might have something that will help you, too. Leo. One more for Leo. Thank you. Okay. Leo's person. Okay. Leo's person. Person Leo's thinking about. Person Leo's thinking about. What are the cycles and patterns the person Leo's thinking about, currently working on? Leo, you may feel drained because all of a sudden I'm getting a draining kind of feeling. Okay. Two more. Thank you. Okay.
Somebody outside.
Somebody's outside?
Huh?
Is somebody
There's
outside?
a car outside out there.
Who the hell is it? Hold on a minute, guys. Okay. Bronco. That's your Bronco. How the hell you turn that light off?
Well, I mean, he was on my damn. Figured he was when he got in there. Put the damn light.
I tried turning it off. I don't know where the switch is for it. Hey, Fescus.
Now he gets in my Bronco, he turns it, hits that switch.
Where's the switch for that one?
Right in the middle where the console is.
Oh, okay.
At least it's not fucking cold as it's been outside.
It's warming up a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna get back to my channel.
Done took a shower and everything.
Yeah, the bathroom feels a lot warmer.
Huh?
Bathroom feels a lot warmer. Gracious. Okay, I'm back. It wasn't anybody out here. Dad left his floodlights on. He said Bubby did it. Get back here. Woman in your yoga class who smells horribly. Smells like that sometimes. It depends on what kind of smell it is. Well, I know there's sweat, but then also sometimes that represents, evil attachments too. My weekend was good but cold. Very cold. Musky smell. She may have something attached to her. I don't know. She may be going through something too. It is freaking cold out, guys. Like cold. You're scared to bring it up. Well, is she a usual? Is she someone you usually see in there? And is it always like that? Semi-usual. Well, I mean, you're gonna work up a sweat too when you're in there. So if she's got any toxins or anything in her body, if she's working up a sweat, she's gonna be sweating those things out too. So are you there when she comes in? That's very possibly what it is. She's sweating those toxins out. But I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe the teacher could talk to her about maybe bringing deodorant with her or something. But you're going to have a lot of that in like um, places you exercise because the movement is sweating out toxins and stuff too.
He's back.
It's like pheromones. I mean, it could be. But if they smell like that when they come in, it could be some kind of attachment to them. Like I've known guys who have gone outside and done stuff outside for half hour and come in sweating and oh my god. And then I had a I had a stepdaughter that like I don't know. But she used to smell her daddy's armpits when he would come in and she liked the smell of it. You had to spray yourself. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably toxins in her body that she's sweating out. Okay. I apologize for the interruption, guys. Dad thought there was a vehicle outside, but it wasn't. It was his floodlights on his Bronco. His Jeep, whatever you want to call it. Um, and I tried to find the light. I've never been in that vehicle, so but it was floodlights. So. Oh wow. Mm. That's gonna be embarrassing if she is. But anyway, let's get back to Leo's reading. Okay, Leo, what you are currently working on, um, pattern and cycles with Two of Pentacles. You know, repeating the same patterns, loop, de loop, de loop, and that's what we're talking about. Patterns. You may be overdoing things. You may have too much on your plate. You may be taking on so many burdens of other people, and you're just juggling everything. Like you're doing it, like you're keeping it up in the air, but maybe you need to drop some of these burdens, some of these things. You know, and it's also juggling, being indecisive, not the choppy waters are behind you. That's what they're saying. So whatever you're juggling, you need to let something go. And these may be seeds or ideas that you're juggling, going back and forth, whether or not it's going to work, whether or not, you should do this or you should do that. Just try it. Just take a leap and try it and plant a seed. And if you're carrying other people's burdens and you're juggling so much and other people can help you out, speak up, you know, be confident. There's orange in here. Be confident and stand in your power and speak up. And maybe, give some of these burdens out to some other people. Take some things off your plate because you cannot continue to go in this with this juggling act because it's going to exhaust you. It's going to deplete you. You can't keep this up as a constant. Maybe you're worried about what others would say if you did drop some of these burdens, but it doesn't matter because your health is at risk here. No one else's, yours is. And maybe this is juggling thoughts in your mind, juggling ideas in your mind. Stop juggling them and plant them. You know, stop this pattern. Stop allowing others to put so much on your plate. Okay. Rodolfo, hi, welcome in. How are you? All right, Michael Stevens. You have a good day, good evening, whatever it is for you. Okay, so King of Pentacles, Leo. What are you working on? You're working on allowing yourself to be stable, giving to yourself before you give out to others. You're also, working on allowing your stability to build. This has the potential to build. Maybe you're holding back. Maybe your thing is holding back. Just looking at things, not ever doing anything with the ideas and the offers. Being afraid that they won't have the potential to grow, negative self-talk, needing to plant that seed or make that offer or accept that offer. This could also be you looking at an offer that's been given to you and not accepting it, just looking at it, you're reviewing it, you're hesitating. Well, you need to know that no answer is an answer. Um, but it does have the potential to grow. This is also growing your stability. Maybe you're afraid to plant this seed because you're afraid you won't be able to grow your stability. It won't be long term. Stepping into your power, stepping into your stability, taking something long term, not overthinking things, being grounded and stable, being grounded within your own energy. Maybe you allow people to get you out of balance and you need to ground yourself more and go within. This is also kind of looking without yourself, looking outside of yourself, maybe feeling like you don't have the right offer. If you give this offer, it's not gonna be long term. It's not gonna work out. So maybe going within a little bit more and getting yourself more grounded. This is also maybe allowing past things to cloud your mind and make you feel like nothing's ever going to grow, nothing's ever going to be long term, nothing's ever going to work out. And then you've got the Hierophant. So, this is, you've mastered this. Like, you've mastered what you've needed to master. You've mastered what it is that you've worked on. You're mastering these cycles, standing in your power, knowing that you don't have to completely keep on repeating this cycle. This is infinity. This is a repeated cycle. You don't have to keep repeating this. You don't need to learn this lesson again. You've already mastered it. Stand in your power now and apply it to your life. What have you learned about yourself in this last cycle? Where are you maybe overdoing for people? Where are you overgiving? Where are you allowing other people to put burdens on your back that's not meant for you to carry? Where are you carrying other people's crosses? And it's their job to carry their own cross. I mean, even Jesus carried his own cross. You know what I'm saying? So, where are you carrying other people's crosses? Where are you enabling them? You don't need to repeat this cycle again. You don't need to learn these lessons again. You've already learned them. You just need to stand in your power and apply them. And knowing that you have blessings coming in, and knowing also that you are an inspiration to others. You take back your power, stand in your power, stop allowing these cycles to have to be repeated. Stop learning the same lesson and start teaching others. People are watching you. They're inspired by you. You may not see it, but they are inspired by you. But people could also be using you, and stopping that pattern of allowing people to use you to enable them. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. So this too, going around and around and around and around in the same circle over and over and over again, holding yourself stagnant, stopping the wheel and holding yourself stagnant. And if this represents the devil, then he's going to want these patterns to keep repeating because that's how he holds power over you. You're not in your power when you're giving other people your power. So he has power over you. But this is also your wheel of destiny, allowing your wheel of destiny to move, allowing yourself to get out of that pattern, get off that merry-go-round, Go on a new ride, learn something new. You've already evolved as much as you can evolve. These past things, they've taught you everything they can teach you. And, they teach from the way that it looks from yours, they're teaching you to hold your own value and your own worth inside yourself and not shine it out, and to keep on taking on their burdens, to keep on taking everything on your plate. Because just because you can do it don't mean you need to do it. Just because you can do it don't mean you really want to do it. You do it out of the kindness of your heart. You know what I mean? And people take advantage of that, and they keep you on this wheel. The devil keeps you on that wheel. So releasing yourself and allowing that wheel to spin in a new direction, allowing fate to take over, maybe just drop it. You know, you're juggling here. Just drop it. You know, don't feel guilty about it. Just drop everything and free yourself and allow yourself to be free and take on only those burdens that are yours. It's not your responsibility to carry everybody else. I mean, he's carrying this wheel. It's not your responsibility to carry everyone else. Take this sword and cut out what is not your responsibility, what no longer serves you. Who's using you? You know, who's using you and calling it love? Love of friendship, love of partnership, love of family, whatever. Who's using you? Allow that wheel to spin in your favor. Because it looks like to me you've been building everybody else's dreams. What about you? What about your dreams? What about what you want? Because that matters. You're not here to serve everybody else. God Divine Source didn't put you here to be a servant. Put you here to be a leader. Lead your own life, lead your own dreams, your own desires. What is it that you want? Tap back into your passion. When you enable other people, you take on their karma as well. And some will give it to you, then they don't got to carry it. That's putting their karma on your back. They don't got to carry it. They're reversing roles with you. Switching destinies, switching paths. But when you take back your power, that all stops. Okay? Your person is needing to take back their power and go on a new journey. They need to stop second guessing themselves. They need to stop. Maybe they're overworking. They're not allowing any time for adventure or joy or play. Or, maybe they're being too serious. They need to get back out there, light that spark back up, light that passion back up. Don't worry about what other people will think about them. Go on this new passionate journey. And maybe this new passionate journey is with you, getting excited again, getting curious about life and curious about how things can go, and, allowing themselves to grow and evolve. Is your person working on not being afraid of a higher level of commitment, not being afraid of success? And I know that sounds stupid, like being afraid of success, but some people actually are afraid to succeed. They're afraid of getting out there in the limelight. They're so used to living without the things that they want. They're so used to not committing. And the Hierophant also is a commitment. This is also a commitment, allowing yourself to step into a commitment. And them too, allowing themselves to step into a commitment, something long term. They're looking at it and being afraid of it. And, right beside that, you looking at your value is commitment, a higher level of commitment. And maybe they need to allow themselves to walk through that door, 1111. They're on the right path. Walk through that door and allow themselves to succeed and take a risk and allow themselves to have that celebration. This could be him walking through the door, allowing himself to go on that path and walk through that door. Or herself. Take it as how it resonates, but not being afraid of a higher level of commitment, giving themselves a chance to, be at a higher level commitment. And this can be marriage, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Take it, if it's yours, it resonates, then it's yours. Allowing themselves to be committed and get in a marriage, if that is what you're looking at. But this is stability. This is 4 walls of stability. This is, building a solid foundation. This is committing to a higher level of themselves and a higher foundation. Something that can't be shaken, something that can last a lifetime and has the potential to go long term. What are they working on? Well, they need to stop overthinking, and they need to throw themselves into Hangman. Hangman is usually not something we willingly throw ourselves into. Something outside of us throws us into it. And then we're trying to find a different perception, trying to look at things differently. So they need to put themselves in Hangman. They need to have a different perception. They need to look at things differently. They need to stop telling themselves the same story that they've always told themselves. Maybe somewhere in their mind, they don't think a higher level of commitment is going to work out. Maybe they've had relationships and possibly marriages that have failed. So the story that they're telling themselves is it's always going to fail. It's never going to work out. I don't want to go on this new journey. I'm too scared to go on this new journey because it's never worked out in the end. Maybe changing their story. Yes, it might not have worked out, but they learned and they grew and they evolved from that. What did they learn about themselves? How were they maybe over giving or feeling like they lack something, or being over trusting, and ended up with trust issues? They need to go within and look at this from a higher point of view, and they need to start telling themselves a different story. This the past built my character. It built who I am now. It didn't define me. It built who I am now. Maybe looking at things from a different light. And they will get that light bulb moment when they're ready. Then you have the lovers, so a contract. This is a contract. It has potential to go long term if they allow it to, if they get out of their head, if they know they're divinely guided, they're protected. The lovers, it's a choice too. Stop being indecisive and allow themselves to be committed, allow themselves to go long term, allow themselves to have that chance and take that risk and go on that journey. They're questioning it, she's questioning it. She's like, are you sure? Is this really what's going on? And this could be switched. He, she, whatever can be switched. But this man is looking at her like she's his whole world, and she's looking up at the angels like, are you sure this time? I'm scared to do this again. I don't want to do this again. It's always failed. But she needs to tell herself a different story, and she needs to trust herself and trust God's source divine. This contract is being seen. It's being, and being led by the angels, by the guardians, by God, by the higher power. It is being watched over. It is being protected. Just got to get out of your comfort zone. Got to open themselves up and be vulnerable, because these two people have nothing on, like not a thing. So they're completely open to the elements, to the vibrations, to the whole thing. Like, they have nothing covering them. They're not hiding behind anything. They're being open and being natural and allowing. And she's trusting the angels. She's trusting the sun, the abundance, the happiness. She's got to make a choice. They got to make a choice. And if they put themselves in Hangman and they listen to their internal self and don't overthink things, they listen to how they actually feel, tap into how they actually feel, try to look at things from a different perspective, they will realize that this is a very, very important soul connection. important soul contract. It's very intense. So, an intense soul connection will leave you, a little scared, The runner chaser, that's where we get the runner chaser. It's so intense, you don't know what to do, you can't handle it. You feel like you can't handle it. Take a step back. Take a step back and put themselves in hangman and take another look at the situation. I've heard that before about the meat. But I was a meat eater for the longest time and I didn't have that problem. So I don't know. I guess everybody's system handles it differently. And you guys got to think too, women go through menopause. And when women go through menopause, they have a lot of that, you know, a lot of that issue too. I'm not saying that she is going through menopause. I'm just saying, they sweat more. They have the hot and cold sweats constantly. Like I carry deodorant with me at all times. And it's not really that I think. I just, it's a, I want to make sure that I don't kind of situation. No, because I'm boring. I love you too, Rodolfo. Clear out energy, bring in new energy. What is Virgo working on currently? What is Virgo working on currently? What are their cycles and patterns they're currently working on? You rest if you need to, Rodolfo. Thank you. Where'd you go? I seen you flip. Ooh. Okay. That's too many. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what's Virgo's person working on? Person on Virgo's mind. I see another card in here. Where is that? My imagination. Might have just been the way the light hit it. Oh my goodness, these dogs. All they do is bark, 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 bark. Scared of their own shadow, I think. Okay. Virgo's person. What is Virgo's person? The one they're currently thinking about, currently working on. What is Virgo's person working on? What cycles and patterns are they working on?
up. You take one bad.
Okay, I gotta check
Oh,
this.
oh man. I plugged mine up and fucking back in November.
Dad's giving somebody hell. I'm gonna check that one.
Mine up in November.
One more.
More damn people down your house than they are up here. All the brains you got down there, somebody should have had a brain.
Should have gave us a reminder. I think they're adults. I think my brother's pipes are froze. That's what it sounds like. And they're like telling Dad he should have gave them a reminder. They're adults. Okay. Anyway.
Need a couple gallon of water built on falls?
Okay. Let's see. Is this supposed to be in the reverse? No. Is this supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. All right. Now he told me to read. Anyway, back to the reading. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, Virgo, what you're working on is the Emperor. So, you're working on transforming yourself into the Emperor, being all for kings and queens. They've been on a hell of a journey. You know what I mean? All four queens and all four kings, they didn't become queens and kings overnight. They had to go through hell and high water in order to, make it through to the queen and the kings. So taking everything that you've been through and allowing it to shape you and allowing it to make you become the emperor, seeing that you are an emperor, going after what it is that you want, being determined and not allowing things to stop you, not allowing other people's thoughts and opinions and, their dreams to stop you. This is about going after your dreams, going after what it is you want, standing in your power, remaining balanced and grounded no matter what comes at you. Being very enlightened, listening to your intuition, listening to your gut, being stable and not being afraid of things going long term, being fiery and passionate at the same time, but also not being arrogant and cocky and, make sure that you're staying humble in your power. A lot of people want power, but how do they wield it? They wield it for the good or they wield it for the bad, having your intentions pure. Okay. Virgo, judgment. So what are you working on? Listening to the call, heeding the call, listening to your intuition, and you're being resurrected. You're being brought up from the ground again. So maybe you've been through a lot of hell. You've been through a lot of shadow. You had your whole world tore up and ripped down around you. And that's not being done to you. It's being done for you. But you are being resurrected, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is also saying don't be too judgmental and too critical of other people. We're all here on a journey. We're all here learning. There are a lot of people being resurrected out of coffins here. They're heeding the call. They're listening to the call. They're also very protected. But Archangel Raphael is calling you on a new journey, calling you on a new path. He's raising you up again from the ashes. Pitbull doesn't care that I was tired. She wanted treats. I know how that is. My cat is like that too. Okay. So, Virgo, what are you working on? Seven of Pentacles. Planting seeds, planting seeds for the future. But also, you're sitting here and you're guarding them. You're watching them like a watch pot, Watch pot doesn't boil. It just does not boil. I don't care how long you stand there. It just does not seem like it wants to boil. You have to turn your back and take your focus off of it. There's something that you've planted, something that you're watching, and you're constantly watching. You're not allowing space for it to grow, nurturing it and watering it, and then turning your back and allowing it to grow. It's going to grow. It's going to come to harvest, but it's going to seem like it takes forever. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be overthinking. You're going to be thinking, well, maybe this plant isn't going to grow. Maybe I'm not going to get anything out of it because you're too focused on it. You got to take your focus off and put your focus somewhere else. And you have another idea. You have another idea that you need to plant, or another seed that you need to plant. And maybe it'll grow quicker than this one. Because while you're planting this one, you're going to take your focus off of this one. So before you know it, you turn around, this one's done grown. You're already reaping your harvest. And then when you turn back around, this one's already halfway grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, while you're planting one, you're taking your eye off the other. You're allowing the wheel to move because you're not sitting here gripping it with a death grip. Like, it's got to work out. It's got to happen. This is the way it's got to go. It's got to happen now. You got to allow things to grow and come to fruition. And while you're doing it, just give it love and nurture and water and food. You know, don't neglect it, but don't keep your eye on it constantly all the time either. You got to trust in yourself. You got to trust in divine. This is going to happen when it's meant to. You can sit there and stare at a plant that you plant in the ground and will it to grow overnight and bear fruit, but that's not going to happen. It's going to get you in your head. It's going to leave you confused. It's going to leave you overthinking. It's going to make you think, well, maybe that seed was rotten. Maybe it's not going to grow. Like, take your attention off of it. Plant the other one, and then take your focus off of it. Come back and check on it. Water it, nurture it, give it love, talk to it, whatever you got to do. But take your focus off of it. And the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, you're feeling like things outside of you complete you. Jobs, material possessions, people, places, friends, lovers complete you. And that is not the truth. Take that curtain down. Allow that curtain to fall. Know that you are whole and complete within yourself. You don't need anyone to complete you or anything to complete you. You don't need all the glory up here. Look at all these shining cups sitting up there. They're just sitting there collecting dust. Like, that's just more for you to dust. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need all of this to make you a whole person. You're already a whole person. You want something to come in, not need. You want something to come in that complements who you already are. Pour in that love and that wisdom and that knowledge into yourself so that you can pour it out into others. This person, he's had a harvest. He's not suffering. He just ate. He's full. His stomach is full. He's happy. He's comfortable. He's content because he knows his worth. And then when you get to that point, your 10th cup will automatically come in because you will reach the vibration that you need to reach to match that. Your person, what is your person working on? Well, your person, Queen of Swords. So your person's very intuitive. They need to trust themselves more. Maybe they doubt themselves a lot. The Queen of Swords, she's very in tune. She's very tapped in. Her bullshit meter it's running. Like, it's up and it's working, and it's going to detect anything that needs to be detected. She's got her sword down, but if she needs to, she will raise it and she will cut out whatever doesn't serve her. Off with your head. Like in I don't know what it is with this, but all of the old like um kids stories and stuff are coming back. Like I woke up thinking about Snow White and Beauty and the Beast, kiss her and she will wake up. But I'm getting, Alice in Wonderland right now. And I haven't watched these things with my kids in a long time, but I don't know. Today for some reason it's fairy tales. I don't know. But off with your head, if it doesn't work out. And that's not literally, but cutting out what no longer serves them. And embracing the fact that they are very intuitive. They do know. They tap into their gut. They're going to feel it if something's off, and they're going to be able to cut out whatever it is that isn't. So they may have things around them and people around them that are toxic, that they need to tap into that energy, tap into their gut and cut out those things that are toxic around them. Become the Queen of Swords. Don't just allow anything to come toward them, you know? Don't just allow anything to suck their energy and take their energy away. They may feel like they're clouded and they can't see forward, but that's not true. Path is clear as soon as they tap in. What else are they working on? The Nine of Wands. Yes, see, this is why you become the Queen of Swords. Because you've been hurt, you've been wounded, you've been to too many battles. And yes, you've won some of them, but you're left guarded. You're guarded. She doesn't need to be guarded. He or she just needs to tap into their intuition. And this can be vice versa. Take it how it resonates, but she doesn't need to be guarded. She needs to be more in tune. Going on that new journey. Yes, she's wounded. Yes, they've been through a lot. But this is God's warrior, divine's warrior on the front lines, because they know they can handle it. God doesn't give you more than you can handle. And yes, you won battles. You haven't won them all, but you will win the war. You know what I'm saying? They need to realize that. And this war mostly is internal. These are triggers. These are things they've been triggered and they've successfully overcome. They don't need to sit here and guard that or guard themselves. They need to open themselves back up, go on the journey, but stay very in tune with themselves. Don't overguess themselves and overthink things. Go on a brand new journey. They're allowing the wounds of the past and the things of the past to hold them back and leave them guarded. So they need to look within and why is that? What were they learning? What was their triggers? What were they battling? And when you're battling somebody, you're battling your own self. It's you in the mirror. Other people are just a reflection of you in the mirror and your triggers. Why are they triggering you? What in you is being triggered? What insecurity? What trust issue? What abandonment issue? Where did it start? Where did it come from? Most of the time it comes from childhood. And it's where were you silenced when you had an opinion or you felt like something or you wanted to express your emotions? Where were you silenced? Where were you told, get over it, stop crying? Where were you suppressing yourself? Where were you feeling like you needed to put a guard up and you couldn't be who you are? Everything became a battle and a fight and chaos. The Ace of Cups. So they're working on pouring that love that they've been pouring out to everybody else that, just took advantage of it and took advantage of them, pouring that love and that nurture back into themselves, unconditionally loving themselves so they can unconditionally love you and unconditionally love other people and not allow their projections and their bullshit to dampen, empty their cup and deplete them. They're learning how to pour into themselves and give themselves self-love, pouring all that knowledge and that wisdom and that energy and that time into themselves so that they can rise from being depleted and be able to offer emotions and things to other people. I feel like their cup's been empty. They've been exhausted. And so now they're having to take that break to pour that back into themselves. They're having to take that rest to pour it back into themselves so they have something to pour out to other people. I don't feel like that they're, I mean, they may be coming across as the Queen of Swords off with your head, you know? But you got to realize they are wounded and they are letting these things affect them and they are letting toxic people drain their cup, drain their energies. They've got to rest. They've got to replenish. Yeah, look, because here's juggling. They're juggling. They have too much on their plate. They're trying to give so many people and do for so many people. They're becoming depleted. And they're going to have to drop all of this and start fresh. And that's nothing against you or nothing against anybody. And if this is you, then this is you. Taking on too many other burdens, taking on too much. They can't handle it all. They're human. Just because they can do it, don't mean they should be doing it all. Just because they can do it, don't mean that they really want to be doing it all. They have a good heart. And the Queen of Swords, she does have a good heart. She has a good heart. Well, she's been through so much shit that she seems cold and calculating. Well, she's really not. She has a huge heart. She has a lot of love to give, overflowing amount of love to give, but not when she's depleted. She can't do it when she's depleted. She can't do it when she's taking on so many other things. She needs help, you know? She may not ask for it. Queen of Swords usually doesn't. They stand in their power. They sit on their throne. But she needs help, or he needs help, you know? And maybe they need to ask for it. Maybe they need to drop these burdens. Maybe not all these burdens are theirs. You know, maybe everything that's been put on their plate don't belong to them. It's not our job to take on other people's responsibilities. Help out, yes, but it should not become something that is expected of you. It should not become something that is your burden. Other people need to help out. This is way too much. And if they keep going at this, they're going to completely deplete themselves. They're going to end up in the hospital or, you know, end up, you know, with machines running to them. Like, you know, and they need to also drink water, you know, drink plenty of water. You know, their vitality will leave them if they keep up at this pace. They will become dehydrated and their health will get out of whack and, you know, I need some help. And maybe they're too prideful to ask for help, you know? Maybe they want to do it all because they love people so deeply. But that's unhealthy. And it would be unhealthy for anyone else to ask them to take on everything too. But Virgo, I hope that helps you. Clear out energy, bring in new energy. Nothing right there. What is Libra currently working on? What patterns and cycles is Libra currently working on? Guys, when you come in, show this channel some love. Give us some love and some kindness. You want to bring love into your life? Give love out to others. You know, love your family, love your friends, love your community. You give love, you receive love. Okay, Libra. Let me get a drink. This is going to be a very, very long reading. All right. Libra. What's Libra currently working on? Patterns and cycles are they currently working on? Thank you. Okay. Okay. What else? Okay. One more. Thank you. Oh, wow. Well, you have all major arcana except one, Libra. So divine has definitely got you working on this. What is the person on Libra's mind currently working on? Okay. Okay, one more. Thank you. Need more space. Okay. Hmm. Okay, Libra. What you're currently working on. Allowing yourself to open up to options. Maybe you've been holding yourself back. And because you've been holding yourself back, you've not been allowing, not been, I'm trying to combine two words together at once. Brain's going faster than my mouth will speak. Not allowing yourself to open up to the options, to open up to taking a risk again, because yeah, you can't see. You can't see what's in these cups. You can't see what the future is, but you are the creator of your own world. And if you're discerning and you pay attention to what's coming in and you weigh the pros and cons and you pay attention, because each one of these has a positive and a negative. Each one of these options has a positive and a negative. And I'm not going to go into all of those right now. I've gone into them before on my channel, but that's a lot right now. But they each have a positive and a negative. And as long as you know that, you need to more or less look when the red flags pop up. Don't second guess yourself. You are the creator of your own world. Don't second guess yourself. Your soul is telling you when there's a red flag. And if you cannot compromise and work together, there's no compromising. Oh my goodness. Then it's a done deal. Like, why second guess that? Why put a fog over that and be in confusion? That's a done deal. If you can't work with somebody, if they're not willing to work with you, they're not going to make a good teammate. They're not going to make a good power couple. They're not going to be somebody that you're going to be happy with in a relationship if your thoughts and opinions don't matter to them, then why would you even make that an option? You know what I mean? Cut it out. You have plenty of other ones here. Open yourself up to it. You don't got to take the first thing that comes along. Maybe, get out there and give yourself a chance to have some different options. Get to know some different people. Just because you're talking to somebody doesn't mean you're committed to them. Doesn't mean you're in a relationship. Like, whatever happened to courting? You know what I mean? Like, court a person. See if you've got things that you have in common, jumping into a relationship and a honeymoon phase, you know, when those masks fall off and your flaws start showing, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Something under me and it's irritating my skin. Um, you know, when you don't match up, after the illusion falls, after the honeymoon falls, after each person puts their best foot forward, but then slowly you start seeing the things in them that, maybe you don't like, maybe you guys don't agree on, maybe you guys don't want, the same things, then, you save yourself that toxic relationship and save them that toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? Both of you are going to be miserable in a relationship where there's no compromise, where you don't have things in common. Like, we're not getting in relationships just to get in relationships, guys. Like, are they compatible with us? Does it feel familiar? When the honeymoon phase is gone and all the, stuff that got the adrenaline going and got them pumped up and was kind of like their drug to make them happy or whatever. What's left after that? Like, you got to get to know people. Don't just jump into things. Open yourself up to different possibilities. Don't hold yourself back. Okay, I'm getting cold. Okay. Justice. This is giving yourself justice, Not waiting on justice to come in, not waiting on someone's karma to come in. This is giving yourself justice. You don't need to see another person go through karma in order to balance yourself, stand in your power, throw the illusions down, let that curtain drop, cut out whatever doesn't serve you, and give yourself an equal balance. This is giving yourself justice, not waiting for someone else to get justice, or, this is allowing yourself to be free, allowing yourself to open your options back up, Like I was saying, there's probably things here that you feel like it isn't there. No, so cut those things out. Give yourself an equal balance. Allow yourself to get back in the harmony. Ground yourself. Get back in your fire and your passion. Speak your truth. Be a leader. Be the authority figure in your own life. Don't allow other people to have authority over you. Drop the illusion. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough to be your own authority. You're not capable of running your own life. You're not capable of giving yourself justice. Drop that curtain of illusions. The Chariot. Here we go again. There's another card. Allowing yourself to be free. Allowing yourself to let go and move on and travel and do what it is your heart desires. It's not up to other people who you should be. You should be comfortable in a relationship being yourself, being your authentic self, whether that is wild and crazy and, out there and like letting your life shine and like overbearing and, people can't handle your loud, so they got to tame you. That's not your person. If you're too much for them, that's not your person. You should be able to be you, be authentic, move in the way that you want to move in your life. And yes, partnership, you compromise, but you don't compromise your authenticity. You don't compromise who you are, what you want to be. You don't dim your light for someone else. You know, you come out being authentic. And if you can't be authentically you and you have to be suppressed and you have to be the way they want you to be, that is not the relationship for you. The relationship that you are in, both of you should feel free within that relationship, free and independent, and also work together. You know, no one should control another person. If you feel like you've got to control another person, you shouldn't be with that person. You know, whether it be that person's doing something wrong or it's just your own insecurities, you shouldn't be with that person. You're not on the right vibration. So allowing yourself to move on and go traveling and adventure, have an adventure, live your life, light your spark. Two minds in one, not second guessing yourself and ripping yourself apart, getting your heart and your mind aligned. And the Hierophant, being your own leader, committing to yourself first before committing to someone else. Because if you can't commit to yourself, how in the hell are you going to commit to someone else? I mean, just, you know what I mean? If you can't stand in your own truth and your own power and know who the hell you are, how are you going to give that commitment to someone else? You can't lead yourself. How are you leading others? There are people watching you, people inspired by you, standing in your power, not repeating these cycles, not repeating these patterns. There is nothing wrong with you. You are whole and complete on your own. Don't take in other people's projections and what other people want you to be or how they want you to be, or you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you're a tyrant, you're manipulative, you're a narcissist. Who are they? Yeah, nobody out here can judge you. You judge yourself. Justice, judging yourself. And we judge ourselves way too harshly. We don't need anybody else judging us. This is also allowing yourself to get into a higher level of commitment, allowing yourself to take those lessons and that knowledge and that wisdom that you've gained, stand in your power, and pour it out to others. Teach and lead and guide others. Tell your stories so others can learn from them. Allow your blessings to come in and bless others. The knowledge and the wisdom to shape and shape your character. It's made you into a leader. It's made you into someone that can commit to yourself. Therefore, you can commit to someone else. And that's family, friends, lovers, whatever, job. You're able to commit to it because you're able to commit to yourself. Allowing your blessings to flow and passing those blessings on to others. What is your person working on? Person has the strength card. So they're working on taming the inner beast, knowing that they have the strength to go on. They have the strength to do this, no matter what's come at them, not allowing the past to hold them back, not allowing their inner thoughts of themselves, their inner projections to hold them back, having the strength to tame it, tame the emotions, tame the negative self-talk, all the projections that's been thrown on them, having the strength to get back up and do it again. There's the repeated cycle, the infinity, repeating things over and over and over again. You need to stop telling themselves the story that they're telling themselves. They need to tell themselves a different story about their life, how it shaped them and built them. And I understand why they're doing this, because heartbreak, But even if this is a third party, and it can be, even if this is someone backstabbing them and stabbing them in the heart, they keep telling themselves that they are, a victim. then that's what they're going to be. They're going to be a victim. They need to see themselves as they're already healing, even though they don't realize it. You know, they need to take the swords out of their own heart and allow this heart to heal and stop telling themselves that they're a victim and start telling themselves that they are a survivor. This shaped their character. This grew them and evolved them and gave them wisdom and knowledge and shaped who they are now, you know? And I'm not saying there was anything wrong with them. I'm saying they believed there was. These triggers came in because somewhere in their subconscious, they believed that they weren't worthy of this. They believed they were too much. They believed that they weren't enough. They believed that, you know, they lack. They're not strong enough. That's not true. And that created this heartbreak. So they need to take these swords out of their heart and allow themselves to heal. They're still standing, you know, they're still standing. They were the victim, they wouldn't be standing. They were the victim, they wouldn't be alive to feel this heartbreak, you know, they wouldn't be alive to allow themselves to heal. So they you know, I know heartbreak hurts and I'm not downplaying that. I've been through it more than once, you know, but we've got to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We've got to be our own cheerleaders. We've got to be our own mothers and our own fathers, our own nurturers, and our own set healthy boundaries. And we've got to choose to pull these out and choose to be the survivor and choose to realize we still have something to be grateful for. We wake up every day and this heart still beats. We wake up every day and we still are able to breathe. You know, be grateful that you're here and be grateful that, you know, maybe the people that hurt them, well, they can't hurt them anymore because they're gone. You know what I mean? Take their swords, cut them out. Don't allow them to keep hurting them. Look, the High Priestess, tapping into your inner knowledge, tapping into, you know, the Akashic records, knowing knowing that the sky isn't even the limit. You know, there's nothing that you can't do and can't accomplish. Balancing the light and the dark within themselves, accepting their dark side as well as their light side, integrating it into one, you know, using the shadow side. Because you have the shadow side, yes, but what is deemed as a weakness has also strengths in it. You know, it's there for a reason. There's something that they went through that left them feeling depressed and down in the dumps and looking at themselves like they weren't good enough. They didn't matter, you know, they were too much. No one wants them, you know, but that's not true. That shadow side was there to make them stronger. Balance it with their light because they're loving and they're kind and they're generous and they're overgiving and, you know, they're compassionate. Balance those two. Without this shadow, they wouldn't have the light. Allow that curtain to fall. Stop telling themselves the illusions that they are. Tap into their emotions and their feelings about things. That's your intuition and your gut, and trust themselves. Know they hold the secrets within them. The key to unlock all this is within them. You love how random I am on my lives? Yeah. But I don't perceive time. Time doesn't exist. I don't live my life by time. I live my life when God divine source tells me to come out here, then I come out here. And sometimes it is on a routine and sometimes it's not. It's just, I listen, you know. And when God Divine Source says rest, I rest, you know. I miss my peeps when I'm not out here, but I rest. But thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. You're still with me, Rodolfo. That's you. Yep. Yep. And then the Three of Cups, allowing themselves to get out here and celebrate again. Who gives a shit about these third parties? Like, if there's third parties, they're not meant for you. You know, what rejects you is God's protection. So don't let yourself sit in this. You know, if you were rejected and cast out, that's not your truth. You know what I mean? That doesn't define you. That doesn't mean you're any less of a person. You are. So get back out here and celebrate and be joyous and have fun and flirt and just enjoy the day. Enjoy the fact that you wake up every day breathing. You wake up every day and your heart's beating. You get to live another day. You get to enjoy the sun. You get to enjoy nature. You get to enjoy fresh air. You get to enjoy your animals and your friends and your loved ones. You know, you have a chance to go on a brand new journey. You shape your life. No one else does. You wake up every day and decide whether it's going to be a good day or it's going to be a shitty day. Even if it is a shitty day, still could be a good day. Things could be falling down around you and you still choose to wake up every day and be happy and celebrate the fact that you're alive. You have a chance. It might not have worked out in the past, but that doesn't mean it isn't going to work out in the future. And that doesn't mean your whole life is done. Okay, Libra, I hope that helped you. Oh, yes, I definitely do. I definitely do. Because I give, and I get depleted. Especially when no one is returning that. You know what I mean? Or people aren't seeing that and they're not returning it. I that's my love language. That's my love language. So I've become an overgiver. And even on this channel, I give. And, people aren't giving back. They're not liking the channel, And I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they come in and they take my energy, but they don't give energy back. You know what I'm saying? They take the knowledge and the wisdom and they run and they don't give energy back. Even knowledge and wisdom on the channel, like helping each other out, like laying knowledge and wisdom on this channel to help other people. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, I've got to pull back because my energy is just being sucked and drained out of me. And I'm not saying, I'm grateful to have you guys here. No matter what, I'm grateful. But I've got to look after me too. Yes, it does. When you're giving, giving a lot of your energy, giving a lot of your time, it helps when other people are giving back, and are appreciative of what it is you do. And some are just, stepping in to check out and see, and you don't even got to step forward to give energy. Like, hit the like button, comment if you want, share if you want, but I mean, it doesn't take much to hit a button. But I do this because I love this. I love doing this. I love, laying the knowledge and wisdom. But if it gets to a point where I'm feeling more depleted than I am, I'm feeling more drained, then I've just got to take more time away. And then, I'm not going to be able to continue to keep doing. I mean, even donation, you don't have to. I donate $1 if you want. Like, I'm not, that's for donation. Now, if you want a reading, that's 20. But, just to donate, just to say, hey, I support you. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're out here trying to do. Plans for Christmas? None. I have none. Absolutely none. I bought Dad a gift. I bought my girls a gift. We're having tacos. That's what we're doing. We decided we're having tacos for Christmas. I'm just going to sit back and be grateful for all the things that I have and all the things that surround me. And, wish my family and my friends a happy holiday. And, just relax. I might come on here. I don't know yet. We'll see. That's what I said. Yum, tacos. I like tacos. I don't need a big, huge freaking dinner. I mean, we could have had it like we did with Thanksgiving, but we lit up Mom's porcelain tree with the lights, and that's the only Christmas thing we did here. Of course, we've got a snowman screwed to the side of the trailer. That's the only reason it hasn't been destroyed. Like Dad said, the little village and train set and stuff that was put under the tree got ruined and destroyed. And we used to do the little village and all of that. Mom's decorations are all pretty much ruined and gone. So I mean, he's got our tree. He replaced the bulbs on it. He took a light from a wax melt candle and put under it, and yeah, it's right outside my door. So just the simple things. We're just enjoying the simple things this year. Not because we have to. Just Mom's not here. It's just me and him, and I don't know. I'm excited for everybody else to call me up, tell me what they got, and how the holidays went, and the dinners they went to, and warm and cozy in the house with my nice hot cup of tea. That's what I'm doing. And we got Christmas music on, the radio plays Christmas music every now and then, so. Yeah, he can't find Mom's white porcelain one. We have her green one. But he can't find her white porcelain one. The kids probably destroyed it. Or my brother threw it out, because he's like that. And he lived up here for a while. Clear old energy, bring in new energy. Just gonna, sit there and celebrate with my kitty cat. And, maybe you guys. Besides that, it's not all about, getting gifts and all of that. It's about giving too. It's not always about receiving. It's about giving. Letting others, watching others be happy, wanting others to be happy. Wanting to see them get blessed. I got the girls some things for their babies. And we got that he's been wanting DeWalt radio for outside 2-volt batteries. And I went and got him. It's not exactly what he wants, but it works with the DeWalt batteries. The speaker radio outside that he wants. You don't like to leave? Yeah. Well, I'll be here too. So we'll be doing the indoors together there, Rodolfo. I don't like the cold either. Like, nope. Nice, like, I might get a nice hot cup of hot chocolate. I haven't had hot chocolate in a while. Might have me a nice cup of hot chocolate and, you know, go up and stay warm and just enjoy the day. But, okay. Clear old energy, bring new energy in. Scorpio. Scorpios. Those little stingers. What are you currently working on? What patterns and cycles are you currently working on? Family gathering on the 21st, friends gathering on the 27th. That's what's up. Well, my daughter was supposed to go to a dinner the other day, but it snowed, and I was on the phone with her. They were deciding whether or not they were going to go, her and her friends, and I told her to let me know if she went and let me know when she got home, but she didn't message me, so I guess they didn't go. I know it's been cold as hell. I know our pipes have froze twice, and I guess my brother's pipes are froze down the hill, and supposed to warm up tomorrow. I'll be so glad. Okay, Scorpio. What are Scorpio's patterns and cycles they're currently working on? Scorpio. Thank you. Okay. Scorpio's patterns and cycles they're currently working on. Okay. Okay, gotta check that one. Whoa. Okay. I gotta check that one too. Shit. Okay. Scorpio, you might be going through it there, bud. Guys and gals, you might be going through it because it's going to be okay. 10 of Cups. Because everything just wanted to fall. I think I've got everything in place. Life might just be a little bit of a mess right now. Okay, and I'm not laughing at that. I've been there. Okay, let me see. Is this supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hot. All right. So let's turn this around. I thought there was another one, but I guess there isn't. Oh, yeah, there was. Is this one supposed to be in the reverse? No. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's get your person. Scorpio's person. Okay. Is Scorpio's person currently working on? Patterns and cycles are they currently working on? Okay, I'm going to take this one because it was coming out, but I'm not taking all these. That one came out before all this mess. Yeah. They're a mess too. Scorpio's person. Scorpio's person. Thank you. Scorpio's person. Holy, no. There's that freaking Ten of Cups again. Scorpio's person. One more card. Scorpio's person. Scorpio's person. Nope, that's too many too. One card. You guys are a mess. Scorpio's person. Oh, weird. Not going to fall again. One card. One card for Scorpio's person. There's some things that you both need to release and let go. Because that's what that was. Things wanting to be released and let go. Things that are maybe are wanting to be spoken and said that aren't being said, you know? Really a mess inside, holding things in. That's what I felt off of that. It's wanting to come out. It hasn't, but it's wanting to. It's wanting to just explode because that was like exploding out of the deck. Maybe some of you want to explode, feel like you're going to explode. Oh, Daddy turned the music off. Okay, let's see here. Oh, man. I hope all the snow melts tomorrow. All right. So, Scorpio, Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, the repeating toxic patterns. This is repeating and repeating and repeating, going in the same circles over and over and over and over and over again. The same loop. And the devil's holding this because he wants you to. You know what I mean? I'm seeing this as the devil. It's something else. I don't know what it is. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, he wants you to repeat these cycles because as long as you repeat these patterns, you repeat these cycles, you keep allowing them to happen, you keep doing them or whatever, you have no direction. You know what I mean? You just keep going into the same loop, like Groundhog's Day, living the same day over and over, or living the same year over and over and over again. And, you know, constantly, why does this keep happening to me? Like, why does this keep happening? Because you keep doing the same thing you've always done. Keep feeling the same way inside that you've always felt inside. This is about the internal journey. This is your will of destiny. You know, allow yourself. I'm seeing it. Okay, that just popped out. You see these layers? Look at how they're expanding. That too. But you see these layers? Allowing yourself to get off one will and onto another will. You know what I'm saying? Like new lessons, new things coming in, new things that grow you and evolve you. So you're on the outside of this will, constantly going over and over and over the same things over and over again. So maybe get on an inner side of this wheel and on the next layer, going deeper within, you know, within yourself. You know, this is outside external influences and things that are keeping you on this loop. So if you go within, and this is what I'm getting, this is what God Divine Source is giving me. You go within, internal, and loop around in there for a while and dig around in there for a while. And look at where, maybe you have some trust issues, you know, maybe you have some abandonment issues, maybe you have some issues with indecision. um so going within the deeper layers within, where does this all start? Where did this karmic wheel start? Where you just started repeating the same pattern over and over again. And this can be your person. It doesn't have to be you. It's vice versa. Take it as it is. But going internal, going within, going into the center of everything, standing in the center. That way, all this outside influence no longer affects you. Going within yourself, setting with yourself, setting with, where did these trust issues come from? Where did these abandonment issues come from? Where did I have someone in my life that I couldn't trust, or let me down that I did trust? Where in my life did someone that I expected to be there for me, they weren't, you know? Where in my life did an authority figure shut me up when my emotions bubbled to the surface, and I needed to express something, but I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I had to hold it all in, you know? Um, I had to be perfect. They had their idea of what perfect was. I couldn't just be myself. I couldn't allow myself to just be myself and go with the flow, express myself freely, live my life freely, have time to play and to enjoy life. You know, this is saying that you have a sword here. Cut out what no longer serves you. Cut out these inner beliefs, this belief system that you've been put on. Go within and find out who you are authentically. Like, who are you? Allow yourself to be you, inside and out. Don't suppress anything. Allow yourself to go within, stand in the middle of all this, and allow all of this to go around you. That way you're more in control. Get grounded, ground yourself into who you really are. Not who everybody else tells you you are, who you should be, or who you think you should be for everybody else, but who you genuinely are inside. And don't be afraid to shine that light out. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles, being left out in the cold, abandoned, maybe tossed out on the street, tossed out on your ass, um, feeling like you don't have, feeling like you're unloved, feeling like, people don't care about you. No one cares about you, but that's not the truth. We need to turn this story around. You need to turn this story around. If something didn't work out for you, then it wasn't meant for you. If you were tossed out on the street, and I've been tossed out on the street twice, so and I did nothing to deserve it. So, except not see my value. So, know that this isn't your truth. If you've been tossed out on the street, that's your blessing. I know it might seem like a curse, but it's actually a blessing. And it's cold. It's cold out. And I pray to God that no one here is out on the street in the cold, like in the snow. Like, I really do. But you have somewhere to turn. There is somewhere you can go. There is safety. This is like a church window. You can go into the church and get warm and get a food, get a hot meal. But this is also saying you've got ideas, you've got seeds you can plant, and you still plant them. Yeah, I know the earth it looks cold and frozen, but I mean, it might take a little work, and it probably is going to take a little work. Um, but you can help yourself out too. Like, I don't know. Take a fire, warm that space up so you can dig down, plant these seeds, plant these ideas. You're not out in the cold. You're not unloved. You're not left alone. You're very loved. You're very important. You know, God loves you, divine loves you, your past on loved ones love you. You're surrounded by love. You just don't realize it. You're feeling like you're out in the cold. You know, maybe people aren't there for you when you need them to be, or you feel like they're not. But you have plenty of pinnacles to plant to bring yourself out of this. This is also changing your story. Stop saying that you're left out in the cold. Stop saying that everyone leaves you, that nothing ever works out. Start telling yourself this is what grew you. This is what made you stronger. This is what shaped your character. You know, you're a stronger person because of this. You're more resilient. You're more self made and independent. And you know what I mean? You're a lot stronger. A chariot. So, not allowing things to hold you back, you know, going on your journey, allowing yourself to freely be who you are, authentically whole. You're authentically whole. Stop ripping yourself apart and getting in your head and overthinking things. Know that you're whole and complete. Hi, Sassacus. How are you? Knowing that you're whole and complete, you can go on this adventure. You can go on this journey. You can free yourself. You have a right to free yourself. You have a right to leave whatever is toxic, whatever doesn't work for you, whether that's a belief system or not. Hello, how are you? What are you doing? You're in the way. Sassacus is saying hi, guys. He's making himself known. You're blocking. Lucas, what are you going to do? Hey, bud, what are we doing? Lucas, what are we doing? You got to move. You got to move. Come on, move. You're going to make mommy move you? Oh. You can't stand there. You can go somewhere else, but you can't stay there. You're in the way. Okay. Go get you some food. Where was I? Okay. Yeah. Release yourself. Let yourself go. Let yourself go on this journey. You know, stop overthinking. Get your heart and mind aligned. Leave the chaos behind. Maybe start fresh somewhere new. You know, maybe just go on an adventure. Align with the stars too. Your wisdom, your knowledge. Tap into your knowing. You know, and you're a water sign. Water signs are very intuitive. Emotions, you know, that's your gut. That's your deeper truth. That's where, you know, your intuition comes from. Feeling your way through. Allowing allowing your internal to guide you, allowing source divine spirit to guide you. Okay, why are you feeling like this? And like I said, this can be vice versa. This doesn't have to be yours. You can switch it if you want. Feeling backstabbed, betrayed, left for dead, you know, like no one cares. Like you're down and out and no one cares. But that's not true. You know, this is what you call the dark night of the shadow. So things might have come in and hit you. A lot of things might have come in and hit you and made you feel like you don't have the energy to get back up. You can't get back up, but you can. You can get back up. The sun is rising. It's going to push away all the shadow. And you are going to stand back up. You are going to be resurrected. You are going to be the phoenix coming from the ashes. And you're going to rise again, and you have blessings coming in. He's making the blessing sign. So you have blessings coming in. So stop telling yourself that you're always going to end up like this. You're always going to end up backstabbed, betrayed, left for dead, left out in the cold, abandoned, thrown out, cast aside. That's not true. Take one of these swords and cut out what no longer serves you and speak your truth. Speak your clarity. You know, What's toxic in your life? What keeps making you feel like this? What is it internal? What is your internal belief system about yourself, about your life, about what you can and can't do, how you can and can't live, how you should live, how you shouldn't live? What is your internal belief system? Because you get this on a vibration of something that where you believe this about yourself. And I'm not putting you down at all, but you call in these types of vibrations. You know what I'm saying? On the vibration that you are, yes, you're going to keep calling in the same things over and over and over again. Where, people say, I don't want a relationship because they're all the same. Men or women, they're all the same. You know, all of that is all the same. Well, how are you going to know if you don't raise your vibration and give someone a chance? Like, raise your vibration, change your story, get out of that loop, get out of that old story, that old belief system. And when you rise, yes, there are still going to be people that come in because they see your light. They're going to want to take you down. They're going to want to take from you. They're going to want you to come back down to their level and be miserable with them. Misery loves company. But you're not meant to come back down. You're meant to go up. You're meant to put yourself first and put your belief system and what you love and what you want and your healthy boundaries first. And they are meant to come up and meet you. Or someone else come in and meet you on that vibration, giving yourself a chance to get out of this. But the sun is rising, and you are a new day is dawning. Your person, what's your person doing right now? Your person is working on themselves. Your person is also breaking these old patterns, these old belief systems, these old cycles. They're learning how to love themselves. They're learning how to realize that they are whole and complete on their own. Nothing outside of them completes them, you know? And by having that belief system that something outside of you completes you, or it takes something outside of you to make you happy, that's going to suck the life out of you. That's going to drain you. That's going to, because if you put your happiness in someone else's hands, you got to know whether or not you can trust them and whether or not to pour it out on the ground and stomp on it, you know? And the way that you do that is know whether a person is there or they're not there. You are still whole and complete in yourself. You are still, your own lover, your own friend, your own cheerleader, your own mother, your own father, you know? So not a job, not a person, not a thing outside of you completes you. You're whole and complete. What they need to realize is they need someone to come in and complement who they already are, because there's not a damn thing wrong with who they are. There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, they might have wounds or traumas they're working on, but there's nothing wrong with them. They've got to learn to unconditionally love themselves before they can unconditionally love someone else. And once they meet that vibration, the Ten of Cups automatically comes in. The Empress. So yeah, this is who they're learning to be. Again, another confirmation. Nothing outside of you completes you. You're already whole and complete as you are. And if this is vice versa, take it as vice versa. You're already the king or the queen, the empress or the emperor. You have all the tools that you need. You whatever you touch has the potential to turn to gold, but you got to believe it. Whatever you touch grows. It has the potential to grow, but you got to believe it. They got to believe it. They got to stand in their power. They got to go out and have fun and enjoy their life again and get creative again and stop being so damn serious. And, they hold the staff that controls nature. They control the elements. They control nature. Nature doesn't control them. They control it. And, their emotions very tapped in. They got to realize they're very tapped in. They're not going to make a wrong choice because they're already going to know. They're very intuitive. They're already going to know. They are the Empress. They birth new ideas. They are the mother and the fathers of the zodiac. They birth new things. They bring new things to existence. Some of them may be pregnant, you know. It's not going to be for all of you, but, you know, reaping the harvest. Emotions overflowing, very passionate, very generous, very kind, very loving, being authentically them. Okay, what is your person working on? The Ace of Wands. Getting back in their creativity, their fire, their passion. Not listening to others that they can't have new beginnings and things aren't going to work out and things aren't going to grow. And this is even listening to an old belief system inside themselves. It's not going to grow. It's not going to work. It's not going to, it's not going to have growth on it. I can't, tap into my fire. I can't tap into my sexual energy, my intimate energy. Um, I can't go on this new journey. Oh, getting over that, allowing themselves to see God is handing them a new passionate beginning, but they have to take that. They have to allow themselves to take that and run with that and be creative and go on that journey. Be passionate and be fire and tap into their sexual and intimate energy. And if they don't want to birth babies, if they're of that age, wrap that shit before they tap it because yeah. These two in the same line has the potential to create a little one. But, if that's what they want, then that's what they want. That's their passion. That's their fire. What else are they working on? Six of Pentacles, equal give and take. Oh, this person has allowed themselves to receive crumbs when they deserve the whole damn pie. They're allowing people to breadcrumb them and just give them a little. And, they be okay with that. Like just accepting a little and not accepting what it is they deserve. Not having equal fairness and balance and having the scales balanced out. People paying attention to other people rather than paying attention to them. Giving to other people time, attention, money, finances, whatever, and leaving them out in the cold, leaving them feel like they're out in the cold. They're not out in the cold. They just got to know their worth. They got to accept things in that give equal balance, equal time, equal energy. They have to see themselves before other people will see them. You don't see yourself and acknowledge yourself and know your worth. Other people aren't going to either. You don't respect yourself, other people aren't going to either. Okay, Scorpio, I hope that helps. We teach others how to treat us. And the way that we do that isn't by giving them some damn lesson or something like that. It's about how we treat ourselves. How do we allow others to treat us? If we allow people to give us the bare minimum, then that's what they're going to do. They're going to give us the bare minimum because why not? They ain't got to do no work. They ain't got to do anything extra because you're not showing them that they need to. You're not standing up for yourself and standing in your healthy boundaries. Clear out energy, bring in new energy, please. This has been a long ass reading, guys. I'm starting to feel drained. What I should have done is 6 signs today and 6 signs tomorrow. Because I've already been on here 3.5 hours. So what I might do is just come back tomorrow and do Sagittarius through Pisces. Oh my goodness. Because I'm feeling a little drained, and I want to be able to give, you know, a good reading to everyone. And if I'm drained, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I want everyone to have the same energy and time. So that might be what I do, guys. Come back tomorrow and do Sagittarius through Pisces. And then we'll go from there. Maybe I'll open up for a few one question answers or something. Because I don't want to give readings when I'm drained. I don't feel like they're going to be as good. I mean, that's possibly not true. That could just be me, my feelings, but yeah, I just want to be fresh. Maybe I need to go get something to eat. I haven't ate yet either. But yeah, we got to take care of ourselves too. And I just came back from depletion. So I still feel it here and there. I've been still resting and giving myself time and trying to stay warm. My hands are like ice. This room is cold as shit. That's one thing I didn't miss about mom and dad's place, being cold. Like, if I didn't have a heater running here, you would literally be able to see my breath. But I can still feel the bitter cold coming, I don't know, from around the windows. I don't know. Probably not the window, more like the walls and the floors. Yeah, yeah. I haven't ate today, but I've been eating. I have been eating. And I bought me, a lot of fruits and vegetables. We got vegetables and stuff. And then I bought me a bunch of vegetable juice and stuff like that too. And then I've got my aloe vera drinks and stuff like that. And I've been drinking water. And I've been taking vitamin B12. I took my multivitamin today, my probiotics and stuff like that. My fingertips are freezing. I mean, my whole hand's cold. But especially like right there where the girl's father, when I went to take that knife, it cut those 3 fingertips. They're especially cold. I'm gonna go out there and make me some food and stand by the wood stove while it's heating up. If you didn't throw it out, I think you still got some rotisserie chicken in there. But on him, I mean, you never know. He made a pot of chili one day and gave it to the dogs the next. So he was missing tomato paste and or tomatoes and stuff in it. So I don't know. I ate a couple bowls of it though. It was spicy. It was spicy, and I could tell it was missing something. But get gloves and cut the tips off. Yeah, I've done that before. I've had to do that because of being a smoker. But yeah, I'll get warm. I just gotta put them in my blanket here. Which, by the way, I did find an outlet that works. This one on this wall. I guess they didn't check that one. So I'm actually able to plug in my heat coat. Thank goodness, because otherwise it's freezing here. But I can get one off. That's probably this one. More of it's laying on the blanket. Yeah. I love this thing because it's got arms in it, and then it's got a little pouch for like your feet. That's why I call it my heat coat. Yeah. I don't have very good circulation through my hands and my feet anyway. What they say, cold hands, cold feet, warm heart. It fits. Unless, of course, I back my ass up on you because that's cold too. That in my hands will be the first things I'm warming up at the wood stove. But anyway, I'm just being silly. But anyway, I love you guys. And I really hope that, this spread really helps people and you get to see, what it is that you're being triggered by, and what it is that you can go within and work on, and what belief systems about yourself you can go within and change, you know and I'm not saying you got to change. I mean, that's up to you. But if you want to bring in something better for your life, and stop these cycles of all this trauma and stuff that keeps coming at you, repeating these cycles, they started in childhood. And that's where we got to start working with them at, childhood. You know, um, we got to stop telling ourselves, repeating the things that other people have told us all our life. We got to stop defending ourselves and start being okay with who we are, inside and out. Like, they're other people's belief systems, they don't belong to us. And when we start healing that, then we not only raise our own vibration, but we also raise the vibration of the planet. And also, by doing that, we take our power back from all those that we have allowed to have it, because they can't take it unless we give it to them. Um, and that's by letting them disrespect us over and over and over again, not putting up our healthy boundaries and standing up for ourselves because we feel guilty for doing that. Somewhere along the line, someone's guilt tripped us, made us feel like we owe them something, or we can't be ourselves. It's wrong to be who we are, you know? And that just dampens us and keeps us on a lower vibration. But as you raise your vibration and you allow yourself to be yourself and you start accepting yourself for who you are, and you start going internally and seeing all the lies that you've been told growing up, you know, like not just our parents and stuff, but society lying to us about who we are and what our value is and what we're worth. And you know, you're poor, then you know, you're less than because you don't have anything, you're less than. Well, I mean, look at the Bible. What did Jesus carry with him? What did he carry with him? Though he was admired and he had haters, of course you're going to have haters when you're doing something to help people. You're going to have haters. That's part of the path. But you're also going to have people watching you. And when that you're growing and evolving and taking your life back and accepting yourself wholeheartedly for who you are, and you stop apologizing for being who you are, other people see you doing that, and it gives them permission to be their authentic self, to accept their self wholeheartedly and fully, and not worry about what other people think, because this journey does not belong to other people. It belongs to you and you alone. So stop letting people tell you what your journey should be. Stop letting people make you feel like you're not good enough. You know, take that power back. Embrace who you are. Unique. Unique and authentic. I love unique people. They're just they're so interesting. They're so amazing when they allow themselves to get out there and shine their light. Like, that's my crowd. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I love you guys. Mwah. Take care of yourselves. Don't be hard on yourselves. You know, be easy on yourselves. Stay warm if you're in the cold climate, and be safe. Till next time, I love y'all. Later.